Ew, ew.
Heyo.
Woo, woo,
Welcome
woo,
in
woo.
on a Friday.
Mm,
Thank you guys for joining us. Looking
mm,
forward to the weekend. Only wearing the hater blockers to hide my tears. As a
mm,
Laker fan, I'm not going to hide from it. Also
mm.
a Bakersfield Jam fan, and very proud
Woo.
to this day to
That's
say that
right.
I was one of the OGs down there with Tyler, right behind
That's
the
right.
old school rascaling behind the visitor bench,
That's
just
right.
getting
DJ,
after
give
it.
us a shout out.
RIP DJ as well. But
Mm,
thank you guys for joining us on the weekend. Uh, not as packed as the last one, so I do apologize.
yeah.
It was a 3-day weekend. Um, took a little time. I think it was beneficial for Tyler and myself. Oh God, what's going on?
Things are
Uh,
falling apart over here already.
coming unraveled. But thank you for joining us. Hit us in the comments. Call us at the link, as you can see there. No
Yes.
app required. Tyler, how
None.
are you doing on this Friday?
Man, I'm doing all right. Definitely glad to see the weekend is here. Got a few nice things lined up, of course. NBA, NHL playoffs going on. I've actually got the college softball World Series on the TV right now. Got the college baseball World Series going on. UFC coming back, even though it's kind of a bit of a lighter fight, kind of leading up to the big pay per view next weekend. But I think it'll be a decent weekend in sports. Ronnie, how you doing today?
Doing great. Um, sort of feeling my way through this. Like, this is the first week I actually have to do some of my job duties for this new job.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Um, I think the most entertaining thing by far is hearing 100. I'm sure definitely I will get sick of this and I'll be mad about it. But right now, wildly entertaining because the same script comes in read by all these hosts, like in Tennessee or New Jersey or Philadelphia or Colorado,
Mm.
and you can just tell where they're from. Like, just
The
it's like
accents, yeah, yeah.
some Goomba guy, and then it's like, "Hey, y'all, check out DraftKings. Use my promo code." So that is still, at this point, still entertaining to me. But man, they come in. They come in hot, and I was already briefed on the fact that football is, the busy time,
Mm.
and I was like, well, talking to some other colleagues and stuff that are working on the same thing as me, like, yeah, this was kind of a busy week, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of nervous about football, and they're like, yeah, football's like 10 times worse. Like, get ready, get ready. I was like, oh,
This is
okay.
this is the down this is the downtime, buddy. Yeah.
Well, hopefully I'll be faster by then. But it is funny, and also, as I mentioned to Braden and some of the other 97.3 The Fan crew that I'm still in the group chat with, you do have the, like, totally pointless, but it means something to you, power trip when you flex on, like, a national syndicated host. Just like, nah, it's not good enough. Send it back.
No, can't do
Send it
it.
back. Do it again. Do it again.
Scott Farrell, I'm gonna need you to read this again, man. That just
You're
ain't
a.
happening.
I would never do that to Scott. Scott, you're my boy. Pharrell on the
Farrell on
bench.
the bench.
Look at this guy, cold Budweiser. A shot of Jameson. Carver High. Can you believe this guy? LeBron, what a bum. But yes, there is some, just notable. There, oh, man, there was one I wanted to get so bad. It was George Norrie, the guy that took over Coast to
Oh,
Coast.
yeah.
R.I.P. Well, not R.I.P., but you know, all praises due, I should say, to Art Bell, the God, who has retired.
Yep.
But Coast to Coast, I mean, some of the stuff, it's like, it doesn't even have to be sports stuff. I'm just kind of like a radio nerd, so I like, how do you not know about these guys? Like Delilah, she's a legend.
Delilah.
Delilah, and then yeah, you're seeing like Amy Lawrence at night, like all these
Mm-hmm.
different spots. So it's kind of fun to see him come in, and it could be Steve and the Stooge and whatever, like Memphis, or it could be Howard Stern. You don't know what's coming in. Like you're
I
just
take it. I take it because I just knowing you, I would expect a message right away if this did happen. So I assume it hasn't happened. You haven't gotten an Art LeBeau read yet?
no Art LeBeau. Unfortunately, it's not a sponsor, but
Oh, come on.
Well, we do not sponsor him.
Right. Well,
If
you
that
got some
happened,
work to do on that.
I will put my name on it. I want to be the executive person that edits and reviews all of Art Laboe's spots. Please.
Oh yes. Oh
Put some respect on his name. That is
That's
the God
right there. That is the God.
But unfortunately, I have not seen it yet. But yeah, it's a weird mix of like random local shows, just like actually Gargano, which I know I was texting you and Justin, who has been like a fill-in or overnight guy on Fox. His spots are actually really good because he was doing the DraftKings one. I got his today, and he's just put a little more spice in it of just like the whole thing is like slanted towards the NBA. So their deal right now is like, well, you'll see next week, but bet $1 and you can win $100 in sight, just credits on DraftKings. So it's not real money, but you can use them to bet. But his whole thing was like, bet on any NBA team that's still in there, including ours, who's still alive. Hey, like total Gargano. So that was pretty awesome. But I like the guys that inject the a little personality in there, but also really like the guys that don't mess up the copy because that becomes the whole thing. Which I've had a few of those, and I'm just like, dude, I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but you're like 10 seconds short. Come on.
I just run it through like really quick.
Yeah, or just like then we'll just play music for the last 5 seconds. No, dude, like we work for DraftKings. DraftKings goes through us, and we send it to you. You cannot do that by their standards. Like, I'm sorry, it's not my fault. It's like do better. Anyway, happy you're here with us on this weekend. Shout out to Jaime. I saw him getting in there early.
Always there early.
Spurs.
Actually, I heard like that's kind of been the thing the last couple of days. But then this afternoon, supposedly now it's like Conte's like over it and not going to Spurs.
Well, I mean, it's a life of pain. If you choose that, it's high profile. You know, Super League founding members, Spurs. If you want that life,
they were the longest lasting Super League team in the Premier League.
Well, the only ones with not enough self-respect to back out way before everyone else did.
Dan Levy, ladies and gentlemen, Dan Levy.
we will see where that goes, and also in these dark times. You know what? Let's start with the NBA.
Okay.
As you saw, my sign and my hat. I'm willing to accept the very dramatic Lakers loss. It is what it is. Without AD, it was always going to be this way. There was only one way. AD and LeBron, or one of them ain't going to get you there.
Yeah.
And LeBron is, I mean, let's be honest, like maybe like 60% right now. So him coming back late, not great. But you see the result last night, and it was plainly obvious after the first quarter what was going to happen, especially at home at Staples. I mean, 36-14. Come on. Booker just completely went off. 47 points. He did. 11 rebounds also. This guy's like 6'4". I mean, that's a lot of guys quitting on the floor to me that I see. But man, I don't know. I mean, I'm not writing off this team because a healthy AD and LeBron still makes you a championship contending team, but obviously they were not either of them healthy or ready really to go for this. And the support wasn't there. I mean, Drummond was supposed to be like a stopgap guy. He didn't really do anything. For whatever reason, Montrez could not get any kind of run until the last game, which was unfortunate. Man, Schroeder really was just kind of lost.
I'll tell you what, you guys dodged a bullet by him not accepting that 4-year extension.
Yeah, I would have to say that. I would have to say that wholeheartedly. Kuzma, who is locked up now, really didn't do a damn thing. So,
breaking news, by the way, Terry Stott's out as the head coach in Portland. Just saw that breaking news across the bottom line of my TV.
Well, I mean, that is tough in a way, but they had good teams. Someone's got to fall on that sword, and it's not going to be the players.
It's never the players.
That are under contract, especially in the NBA. I mean, Dame, we saw his not quite cryptic Instagram post with the Nipsey Hussle lyric yesterday. Just like, how long do I keep trying? Like, oh, man, you got to do something. Do we want to keep this guy? Obviously, you do. But unfortunate. I thought Terry had kind of hit his stride getting that team to where they are right now, but maybe someone else is needed to kind of take that next step. So unfortunate. But as we look at that, let's just hit the bracket right now. And Portland, man. I mean, Dame, I don't know what his contract situation. I off the top of my head, I do not know. But we already saw he's kind of like, do I stay? Do I go? I don't know. I mean, obviously you can't really question the effort, but is he ever going to get over that hump playing there? And I kind of have to side with him on that. Just like the indecisiveness kind of that. I'm sure he probably walked that back somewhat on his social media throughout the day. But, I mean, he kind of put it all out there after the game. Just like posting that, it was like, everyone's going to overreact to something. But it's hard to disagree. I mean, he definitely plays his ass off. And, man, that game 5, how can you ask for anything more than that? I mean, 55 points, 10 assists. I mean, like record setting all over the place. He really hit a stride of like 10 minutes where he could not miss any shot at all. And they still lost that game. And then they lose at home. So we'll see what happens with that. Please come to the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's just...
we don't have any money.
Look, you're at a point in time in the NBA where one star on your team just is not going to get it done. I mean, that's just face facts. Like, you're going to need at least 2 stars, probably 3 stars, to really compete and win. And, Denver's got some... I mean, like I said the other night, like, there's not that I necessarily believe it, but, like, you can make the argument the second best player on Portland is Carmelo Anthony. Like, you're not going to win if that's the case, if that could be argued.
2021 Carmelo is not the guy putting you over the top right now.
No. So they are going to have to either commit to trying to bring somebody else in, or Dame might have to go elsewhere. I mean, I know he says he wants to win one in Portland, but it's at a certain point in time, he's going to say, like, okay, like, I'm committed to you. What are you guys doing for me?
Yeah, and he has been loyal at this point, you can almost say to a fault. I mean, I definitely respect a guy that wants to, like, stick it out and, like, we have built something here. Like, he's even obviously gotten better as an NBA player since he's been there. But at a certain point, you got to bounce out.
There we go. Justin hooking us up with the contract details.
There we go. Justin, stats and research department right there.
Or Schwab.
The Schwab, yes.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to Denver and Phoenix in the next round.
That's going to be good.
Look, I mean, obviously, Laker fan that I am, unfortunate, but the writing was on the wall. Everything was kind of just, it was never going to happen. I mean, LeBron hurt for most of the year. AD, always a threat to get hurt and hurt for most of the year. Especially, like, he's never, yes, they won last year, but he has never played into the playoffs at all. and he's been hurt in the regular season when he was in New Orleans. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of thought this was going to happen last year, and he, was able to ride it out and win that. But kind of refreshing in some way, even as a fan of the opposing team, to see the young guard coming in here.
Yeah.
Very interested to see the Denver-Phoenix matchup. And I don't know where the Clipper game is at right now, but
Let me get a score
looks
up
like
here.
Mavericks are winning, going into about to go to the fourth quarter, 77-73.
There we go. So yeah, they close that out tonight with close the series out with a win here. So yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on that one for the rest of the show for sure. I mean, look, I think we've all until the Clippers can prove otherwise. I think we're all kind of the belief that Dallas is going to win that series.
You know what? After the fourth game, when they tied it up, I was like, all right, okay, Clippers. Like, maybe you save some kind of dignity here and break out of the paradigm that is being the Clippers. But no, still the Clippers. You're always going to be the Clippers. You have to move somewhere else. I'm sorry. Like, LA does not care about you.
Yeah, end of Game 5. I know we were testing a little bit about it after Game 5, but Rajon Rondo just staring daggers at Kawhi Leonard. Granted, that's how Rondo looks at everybody all the time, but
he has those crazy eyes.
Maybe even a little bit more murderous after that last second air ball by Kawhi.
Look, if playoff Rondo cannot save you and get you into shape, because
clearly
he did that for the Lakers last year. Playoff
Rondo's a real thing.
He was not there for a lot of regular season games, but I am still firmly in the camp of if they did not have Rondo last year, they would not have won. Like,
I could
whatever his stats were or not, it's just like you need a guy that's like a red ass. Just like, I've been here. You guys have to do better. Like, you guys suck right now. Like, play better. If he can't save the Clippers, then they can't be saved. Don't save them. They don't want to be saved. In the great words of J. Cole.
Yeah, no, Rondo definitely had that Kobe mentality of, like, we won a series. What are you celebrating for? Like, we haven't won it all yet. What are you doing?
That's nothing. Yeah, job's not done.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, we'll see what happens here. Utah also. I mean, like I said, this is really the young guard. Even setting aside my personal bias against hating the Clippers, which I definitely hate the Clippers.
Please believe that.
Please believe that. Please believe that. But I feel like this would be a good year just to see Utah, Dallas, Denver, and Phoenix. I mean, Portland. Yes, we all know Dame. Like, I mean, he is a brand unto himself. He is that performance in Game 5 was legendary, but all for naught. So I don't know what happens with Portland. We see they have a coaching change coming up, but you know what? If the Lakers aren't in it, I do want to see some of these young teams just have a shot at it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I am definitely excited by the matchups coming up in the next round. Again, like you said, just to see something new, something different. I think I saw something online today. Like, this will be the first championship without Curry or LeBron for the first time since like 2010. Like,
yeah,
that's refreshing. Like, I am definitely in on that. I mean, granted, I still kind of looks like everything's going to run through Brooklyn.
For one, hail our new Brooklyn overlords with their super team. I'm just going to get down now and bow on my knees and respect what's going to happen. We all know what's going to happen.
But it is cool to see the young guns out there getting through to the next round, knocking the old guard out.
And as we take a look at the East, RIP Knicks, but it was refreshing. I mean, it's like we've talked about it before. Like, we're not Knicks fans here, but there is something about Madison Square having a playoff game, having even the other guy, Trae Young, going off and, like, just that persona, like Spike Lee there just getting shit on in the first row. Just like, I mean, all that's kind of fun. Like,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. But alas, it was not to be. But like I said, I kind of think they're where the Nets were maybe 3 years ago. So if you can poach a superstar that wants to leave their team, that might be the one that puts you over. So we'll see there. Um, Obviously, in Milwaukee, just easy work of the Heat, unfortunately. But kind of interested. I mean, I think Philadelphia, even with the Embiid health concerns, I think they will be able to handle the Hawks. But
Agreed.
the Hawks are also kind of that team that is now like they're not afraid of anything. So, and Trey can just hang 45 on you, like no problem.
Yeah, I mean, I still think Philly runs through that. I think that one maybe goes 5 games. Maybe Philly gets the gentleman sweep in that one. Um, I can't see Trae Young being able to take down that whole team, but who knows? We'll see. But that Milwaukee Brooklyn series is interesting because I mean, so far these playoffs, granted it's only been 4 games for them, but these Bucks definitely look a lot more hungry, a lot more focused than they did last year in the bubble playoffs. So I'm intrigued to see what they can do against that juggernaut team in Brooklyn.
I mean, this is kind of like a show and prove for Giannis too. Like he had the MVPs. I mean, they've been so good in the regular season, so much hype on them, and then they just always fall short in the playoffs. This is time to show out. So, and the moves they made this year when he re-upped, kind of to support, like, please stay here, please don't leave to go to some other team. There was, he was going to the Mavericks, he was going to the Heat at different points.
Right.
So they're all in on him, but he has to kind of show something here. So I think he has a lot to prove here.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely. I mean, you're definitely right on that. But like I said, I think they looked a lot better in that first round series. Granted, I think it's not that same hot Miami team that we had last year in the playoffs. But I mean, they looked it was night and day between last year and this year in that Miami series. So I'm excited for them in the next round. I could see Milwaukee and Brooklyn going 7. I think Brooklyn probably takes them. I'll go Brooklyn in 7, but I like that series a lot.
I don't know. I mean, unfortunately, it seems like what we all dreaded is starting to like materialize, where Brooklyn is just like, yes, all 3 of these guys at the same time are very good. Like,
oh yeah.
Now we're seeing it. They're scoring like 90 points a game between them 3, and then the other guys just have to score like 25 points combined,
Right.
and they're good.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, I'll say this: I definitely expected the massive blow up between those 3 to happen at some point in time this year. Maybe it's just because at some point in time, like at no point in time, were all 3 on the court at the same time. It seemed like one was always injured or Kyrie was off doing something crazy. So like,
Yeah, that
we
was
never
like
had that. We never had that moment for all 3 to just like fight each other over like who's going to get this last shot.
But was that whole thing a swerve? Like, was that whole thing a setup for this storyline? Like, they knew they were just going to do it. So I don't know.
True words.
But it's looking like it's just definitely heading towards a juggernaut there in Brooklyn.
Yeah, very true.
We will see. And like I said, I mean, I think it was a big mental roadblock for the Bucks to sweep the Heat after last year, especially. But I don't know. I mean, it all roads lead to Brooklyn right now, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you'll get no argument from me on that one.
As we take a look at the other playoffs going on. Moving on to the hockey. Colorado gave us and Vegas a great one last night. That or the night before. I'm sorry. That went to overtime, and I mean, this is really the time of the year when the goalie can, I think 2 of the 3 stars of the game were both goalies. So
Yeah.
at certain points, both were kind of standing on their head. Just a really entertaining game to watch. And I'm not writing Vegas off right now, but it's going to be tough. I mean, they're going back to their own barn, but
They're playing right now as we speak. It's 0-0 in the first intermission.
You would hope to get one of those on the road. It's not always going to happen, but just 2 really well played games. Well, maybe not the first one, but the second one I thought was excellent, and I think that's going to be a bloodbath of a series. Rooting for my Islanders. Please take out Boston. Can we just eliminate Boston from any professional sports conversation for the time being, please?
Yeah, I mean, to your point in the first matchup between the Avalanche and the Golden Knights, I mean, you're right. It's definitely goaltending. Philip Grubauer has been probably the best goaltender all year in the NHL, just absolutely destroying it for Colorado. Vegas countering. They got, of course, Marc-Andre Fleury, Marc-Andre Fleury, who, kind of up and down during the seasons, but, I mean, he's playoff tested. That man's gotten it done in the postseason. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely one to keep an eye on. And then, like I said, the Islanders, I kind of thought they were going to pull it off yesterday. I caught bits and pieces of it. They scored real late against Boston to take it into overtime and then just kind of gave it up there. I mean, that's a tight series, though. That one I could easily go 7 games with at least 1 or 2 more going into overtime, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the first round is always nice when you get the amount of overtime games that we got in the first round, because you don't know what's going to happen. Things like goalies haven't gotten totally fully formed, I guess, reached their final form that you'll see in the playoffs. But, Tyler and I, we've seen it with Jaguar. He pretty much just put them on their back and took them all the way. So it can happen.
A man that lost in the final and still won the Conn Smythe Trophy.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to goaltending. So now you're seeing these teams kind of just sort of round into shape of what it's really going to be. I'm just rooting for the Islanders. Again, my personal bias. I hate Boston. Anything they do, I wish you ill. But I want all hot tubs cold in Boston.
There you go.
I don't know you, but I never met you, but I hate your guts.
I hate your guts.
But we'll see. I mean, hockey gets more interesting as the later rounds come around. And taking a look at the other side of the bracket here, I think it happened during our show on Wednesday, but the Canadiens and Jets series, Canadiens won that first game. Also, shout out Corey Perry. Still,
that's right.
He ain't dead yet. Getting a
Still
goal in that game.
Still agitating out there.
As is tradition.
That's what he does.
The incident at the end with man, I mean, that was just actually, I mean, the photo, I don't want to be gruesome, but that photo is pretty good. It just captured exactly what happened.
True.
As Evans was putting in an empty net goal and just come flying down the ice like, you're not going to win. Takes him out. I mean, the guy is not a dirty player, but it was a dirty play for sure. And I think it was just like he lost his head. He was, everyone's frustrated. The stakes are high. But 4 games is a lot in the playoffs, especially for one of your captains. You usually do not see that in the NHL. I don't know if this was making an example of this guy because he is one of the captains or assistant captain. But I thought it was a fair punishment. I mean, I just thought it was disgusting what he did.
Yeah, I mean, you said it right. Mark Scheifele, by all accounts, he's not a dirty player. He seems to be pretty well liked across the league. He just lost it. I don't know if he was just having a frustrating game all game. I mean, like you said, Corey Perry out there agitating. I'm sure he could have gotten in Scheifele's head. Just absolutely an unnecessary, just brutal hit against Jake Evans. From everything I read, Evans seems to be recovering well, which is surprising because he got absolutely wrecked and stretched it off in that game. 4 games, I think you're right. 4 games, I think, is right. I think a big part of the problem is the NHL got it wrong with the Ryan Reeves punishment just a couple days ago, where he only got
Yeah.
two games, despite being a definite serial offender, known as a dirty player. And he had back-to-back games, one where he shoved a player headfirst into the goal post. The second offense, I think he ripped a player's hair out and tried to take him to the ground. So I think our guy George Peros kind of had to bring the hammer down because of how bad they messed up the Ryan Reeves punishment.
The NHL has kind of been sort of under a microscope with some of this discipline because some very egregious things have gone like, oh, that's a one game. Like, that's a one
or
game?
$5,000 because that's the most they can find according to the CBA.
But I mean, even if that, like, if we wipe the board clean of that, yes, 4 games is tough. I mean, it's a playoff series. You're looking to go to the conference. I mean, right there, one step away from the Stanley Cup if you get in that next series. But it's hard to say it's not justified. I mean, I think in a vacuum, it's a fair suspension.
Yeah, and you're right. 4 games is tough, especially because they, this was game 1 when the hit happened. So the suspension started today, and they lost game 2, 1-0. So I mean, Scheifele could miss the rest of their playoffs if they lose 2 more in the next couple of games. Like that's it, he's done. So, ugly situation. I'm glad to see that he's saying he's not going to appeal because I don't know if that would win or not. It was pretty gruesome, but
it's pretty obvious on tape what happened there. And like I said, this guy is not like a hitman or a goon or anything by any stretch of the imagination. But like they say, like the English guys say in soccer, just kind of lost the plot for a second and just like went in that killer mode and just sort of
charged almost the full length of the ice to hit a guy that was about to put in an empty netter. Like,
the game's already wrapped up. So, I mean,
game's gone.
Can't really defend that on any grounds. But like I said, I think he'll be fine. And, fortunately for Evans, it seems like he will be fine as well physically. Just, man, that was crazy. As Tyler was describing it to me, like before we went on the air Wednesday, just like, oh my God, someone's getting suspended for sure. And then when I actually saw the video, I was like, yeah, well, in the playoffs, he's going to get a 1 game. And then they actually hit him with the 4 games. So there's no real winners here, but, like we've been saying, the NHL has kind of been under a microscope as far as their, ad hoc discipline. And I think this is one of those things that definitely deserved a pretty harsh punishment, for better or worse. And it had to happen. So, I mean, if you see the hit, you see the hit, like just look it up on YouTube. It is what it is. So it's pretty bad.
Also, if you do watch it, shout out to now I forget the Winnipeg player. Was it Eichel that kind of like held the pile back from falling on top of the prone Evans, and then the linesman came over there, kind of jumped as well. So big shout out to both of them for protecting a man that was obviously injured and keeping a pile away from him.
There was, referees, there was actual Winnipeg players, teammates of him, like defending, like just like, hey, just stay off this guy, like something's wrong.
I know you guys are gonna fight, but like, hey, let's keep it over here.
Yeah, I mean, and as I told Tyler, like after that, I mean, if this guy does play, we reserve the right to fuck you up. Like it's on site. So he might not play in the rest of this series, depending on what happens. But guaranteed, there's going to be some theatrics in the regular season next year.
A little misunderstanding.
A little misunderstanding. It's going to be comeuppance. Let's just say that. Hockey finds a way. It always levels out. Like, we'll find you. We will kill you.
Yeah, no, you're right. That first regular season game next year between Winnipeg and Montreal is probably going to be must watch. Even if you're only going to watch the opening puck drop, that might be all you need to see.
That might be it. That might be like that Rangers line brawl. Like
exactly.
There's going to be some words exchanged. People hitting each other in the back of the, Like, hey, you trying to go? No, doesn't matter. We're going.
Yeah, just not even asking the person if you want to fight. Just like, dude, it's happening. It's done. Like,
next time I see him, it's on site. Fucking him up on site. But moving on from that, we do have the Bob Baffert-less Belmont Stakes coming up. Thank God they got that cheater out of the game. Even though he's like the most public face of horse racing that anyone outside of the sport knows. And it was like allegedly, anti-inflammatory or something like. My whole thing with that was like, yeah, but it's a horse, so like you could just still like rub this thing all over him. Like they're probably gonna run better if they weren't hurt.
Does this look like a guilty party? I mean, really? Come on.
Honestly, it's not the horse's fault. But yes, we're looking at Essential Quality as 2-1 right now. Hard to argue with that. Maybe Rombauer, because we got some kind of track record on him if you've been watching these Triple Crown races. And I don't know. I think for me, could be wide open. I like the 20 to 15-1 guys.
Yeah, the thing is, it's just an 8-horse race, which is a little bit weird. Although this is the longest race, so some trainers don't like to put their horses in there, especially if they don't have a shot at the crown. But yeah, like this. Look, this might be the one to take a long shot at because it's the longer race. So like, you just never know what's going to happen. The 2-1 favorite could just die out at the 1 1/4 furlong mark, and then everybody passes them up. So. Yeah, I think you're right. This might be the race to take a shot at one of those long shots.
I mean, it's one of the glories, especially when it's wide open. In horse racing, just bet on the long shot. Bet $1. Bet $1.
Bet $1. That's it.
Or go for that trifecta. Come on, like do what you got to do. But all we know is that this savage animal will not be out there. Unfortunately, blackballed by the sport.
Will not even be in the state.
He's not allowed. He can't even go to the glory that is Aqueduct.
That's right. You are denying these people the gift of Bob Baffert.
This is where champions are made. You take a look. You drink it in.
You look.
But you look and you see what you are missing out on. Because Baffert, you are a scumbag. How dare you?
I'm sure he's hurting real bad sitting back with counting his millions.
Yes, he will cry himself to sleep tonight, I'm sure. I do see on the Celebrity Hotline, in this case will be the Rollerama Celebrity Hotline.
There we go.
We do have No ID Justin joining the program. Justin, how are we doing this evening?
What's up? I'm
hanging out.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just got home from work, as you gentlemen know. We were pre-showing it on the 405, so.
That's right.
Yeah, just glad to make it,
Well, glad to have you here, and just always a loyal contributor to the show. We don't have a lot of soccer takes for you to fire off right now.
We'll put that on the back burner. We'll take a rain check, but I have a feeling that there is some good no ID soccer minutes around the corner here.
Oh, there's going to be some deep cuts. Stay tuned.
Sure.
Euros coming up, Copa America coming up. I mean, we can go any kind of way with this. So beyond that, now that you're here with us, I know it was outrageously painful for all of us to see the Lake Show go out, not with a bang, but with a whimper. But I wanted to get your thoughts on what all took place last night.
I mean, there's not much to be said. Devin Booker came out just unconscious, could not miss. Really, their entire team. I mean, Crowder buried 3 trays, to start off the game. And they just didn't take their foot off the gas. And, kudos to them. They're the better, hungrier, younger team. And, I heard you mention earlier, I mean, we're Lakers fans, but we're also realists. This team was built around LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and neither one is anywhere close to 100% right now. So
Yeah.
there's nobody after that. We had talked last week. I was bothered that THT and Montrez and, I saw Macklemore got in there a little bit, in game 3, I think it was, or 4. But yeah, it just seemed like, I don't know, for whatever reason, Frank Vogel just seemed hesitant to put any of those high energy guys on the floor. And, Chris Paul gets a lot of the credit, obviously Devin Booker. Cam Payne, dude. Cameron Payne
Yeah,
was the
man,
player of that series for me.
yeah.
Cameron Payne single-handedly had more points off the bench through 3 games of the series than the rest of the Lakers bench combined. Like he was
Yeah.
just, and then Cam Johnson last night, making big threes when they needed them. It was like every time the Lakers even got it within 15, it was like Phoenix would just come down the floor and bury a three. So it just deflating. But yeah, it's disappointing. I told somebody today, if anything, this will just motivate LeBron to barge into the front office, demand that they trade half the roster, and bring in Steph Curry. So we'll see what happens.
Pull the Kobe and hey, I just wanted to show up to tell you guys goodbye because you're all off the team.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Dennis Schroeder might be relocated to Serbia at this point. Like, I don't even think that was frustrating. I saw him come out, like, oh,
South Bay Lakers.
I'm absolutely coming back. Like, yeah. I'll tell you what, playoff Rondo ain't going over. That's for damn sure. And if he is, he's getting like 25 assists in that game.
Which begs a check on the scoreline. But I do Clippers now in front, up by 5 with 5 minutes left. But I kind of thought, like, all right, this sucks, obviously, as a Laker fan. But for Vogel, he kind of was, I wouldn't say gifted, but kind of gifted this team last year. They were ready to win. I mean, with a healthy AD that I kind of thought last year would not even make it all the way through that playoffs, even in the bubble.
Yeah.
So it could, in the long term, be like a growing pain for him. Of just, it seemed like he was just like, I got to go with what I know. And that's like not putting Montrez in, or that's not like letting THT get in there. Like he was just sticking to his guns to a fault. And so maybe he grows out of that a little bit.
I think a lot of it too is, he's the anti Mike D'Antoni. You know what I mean? He's all defense all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, and that's a big part of it is the offense was so reliant on mostly AD and LeBron as well, obviously. But you just didn't have that floor general. Again, going back to Rondo, you didn't have that guy to kind of collect everybody before we're down 30. When we're down 12,
like,
just to kind of get everybody
Let's
together.
Let's nip that in the bud. Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing? Because that was the most glaring thing to me was there was zero energy. Like it was so deflating the first 5 minutes, and then it's like they put Montrezl Harrell in, and bless his fucking heart, the guy's out there trying his ass off, but he's 1 of 5. And it just it's frustrating to see. So they got to figure something out. I like that they've been the best defensive team, the best team defense in basketball 2 years running. I think there's something to be said about that, and that is
a rare treat for a Laker fan because usually it's like up and down, and we could just outscore you.
It is. So
but, I like seeing the defensive attitude that he has instilled.
100%.
I just thought he was kind of stuck in his ways of last year. This year, I'm just gonna ride it out. Like we still have LeBron, right? Like we're gonna win at some point.
Doesn't seem. He seems to be a low risk coach. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to just go on his goal and just throw a guy in there and let it ride. I think he would rather just play it safe. He's the anti Mike D'Antoni. He's also apparently the anti Bruce Arians because he is no risk it. I don't care about biscuit.
But like I said, I mean, maybe this is the impetus for him to kind of grow out of that a little bit. Just like, look, dude, you're a championship winning coach now. You're a coach of the Lakers, like marquee kind of franchise here. Just if you feel something, just say it. Like, put these guys in. Don't feel like you have to sit back and do what LeBron wants to do all the time. Like, obviously having LeBron on the team in his twilight years, whatever, he's still going to be the overriding factor. But like, you have a say. Like,
I
go with your
mean,
gut a little bit.
I think you'll start hearing more news, coming as we progress through the playoffs. Obviously, the Lakers, are not, the primary topic of conversation right now, being out of the playoffs. But I think we're going to see a lot of tread getting put behind the Jason Kidd as head coach. I think that's something that we're going to see going forward into this offseason where, for whatever reason, it's just going to be, oh, LeBron wants Jason Kidd, LeBron wants Vogel out or whatever it may be. I just think that there's going to be an outcry to put Jason Kidd in that role. He's kind of sat in the background, as an assistant for a while now. He has a great relationship with LeBron James. And honestly, maybe he would be what the team needs. Frank Vogel's instilled this team defense, that they seem to be consistent with. So maybe you plug in Jason Kidd, maybe he can light a fire under this offense. Because you cannot have 14-point quarters in the playoffs. That's just abysmal, dude. Like, it doesn't matter if you're the number one defense in the league. If you're only putting up fucking 12 or 14 a quarter, you're gonna lose every fucking game.
You can't have that in the regular season, let alone the
playoffs. 100%, dude. 100%. And I mean, look at that. Look at that right there. They lost by 13. It's like if you scored, 28 in the first quarter, you won by 1. They never were able to get over that horrible, horrible first quarter.
I will give him some slack because as far as the offense goes, like, we know he's injected the defensive mentality into that team more than what they have traditionally had, in the last decade or so. But I just thought it was a little bit of laying out like, all right, well, ideally we have LeBron, we have AD, the offense will take care of itself. And then you don't have AD and you have like a 60% LeBron. So then what do you do? Like, I mean, guys weren't making shots, don't get me wrong, but you got to have some kind of a plan B or C. Like, we got to do something here because coming out like that in elimination game at home, that was it just seemed like there was no offensive plan at all. LeBron will just take care of it and we'll be good.
Yeah, could we transition and start running the offense through bald white baby Jesus, Alex Caruso, please? Like, what are we doing?
Hey, Caruso made his bones like last year and this year. I have no problems with him. But, I think the most frustrating to me is Kuzma because he is long-term with his re-up. And Drummond, that was a nice little piece that they got at the deadline. And I was hoping for more. He didn't really look that great, but
I thought Drummond kind of got mental fucked. Drummond basically came on the team when there was no AD and was no LeBron. So whereas Drummond needs to focus more on rebounding and defense and just getting his points on putbacks, I feel like he took too much onus. Same with Schroeder. These guys felt like, okay, AD and LeBron are out. Somebody's got to carry the team. Well, it ain't you guys. It needs to be a team effort. And I don't know if you guys heard the Magic Hour today. Old Irving sat in for Fred Rogan today with Rodney Peete. And when asked about Dennis Schroeder, he said flat out, I don't think he's a Laker. That was Magic's direct response. I don't think he's a Laker. I don't think he has what it takes to be a Laker. I don't think he's going to be back on the team. So strong words from the Magic Hour today.
Well, I don't know if you've heard it. Like, if you're sitting back from where Magic is at as a legend, Hall of Famer, whatever, you're retired. No one's going to boo you. Like, it's already all out there. Like, all right, it's a little easier to say that. But, the Schroeder thing does kind of look bad right now because he basically signed that contract under the premise that, like, I want to start on this team. Like, I deserve to start. He's been a really good six-man guy, energy guy off the bench, like, very capable. And, maybe he can't carry that weight.
Well, Justin, I don't know if you heard earlier, but I made the comment to Ron, like, man, the Lakers dodged a real bullet because I know they threw down that, what was it, 4-year, $85 million extension offer they threw it to him early in the year. He turned it down.
Yeah.
Saying he wants to go to free agency. Now he's not. What's he going to get in free agency now? I mean, he kind of, look, I'll give the guy credit. He took a chance on himself, but man, that blew up in his face hard, and who knows what he's.
I mean,
what
he's
going to get
a
in the offseason.
positionless athlete now on Twitter.
Yeah,
So
that's
who
true.
knows?
Yes.
He might go to the XFL. I don't know.
You can go
Hey,
play
the
in Germany.
USFL's coming back. He might sign up there.
Nah, Apple's going to Germany, bro. A name like Schroeder.
Also, Baron, what game has the no-hitter alert?
Yeah.
Usually Justin lets us know.
Please elaborate now that you've jinxed it. Let us know.
I love that he puts the zipper mouth right after it. Like, no, you sending that.
You already said it.
Yeah,
bro.
it's too late.
It's public knowledge.
Pandora doesn't go back in the box. She only comes out.
Man. It's open. Yep.
It's a
Once
one-way
it's open,
street.
it's open.
It's a one-way street. But do let us know, Baron. I mean, now that you've blown it, please let us know. Moving on real quick.
But before we jump on, just because I don't think we actually texted about it before the game yesterday, I did just kind of want to get you guys' thoughts. Obviously, hindsight, 2020, all that stuff. What were your thoughts about AD starting the game yesterday? I mean, like we saw, he didn't last long, came out. Hopefully, there's no long-term issues with him. But what was your guys' thoughts on that?
So, real quick, I don't have much to say on this, but I will point out, shout out to my boy Danny G Radio via Fox Sports. He before the game started, he said AD will last 5 minutes.
Called it.
He lasted about half that. So yeah, he had no business playing. Anybody that suffered any type of groin strain or anything like that, I had a minor one 6 years ago. I mean, you cannot extend laterally. Like if you try and get in a sprawl or any type of defensive stance, you can't do it. So it's the lateral movement that kills you. And then on top of that, you factor in the fact that, he got this groin strain via, overcompensating for the leg injury, So it's like one thing leads to another, and he really had no business being out there whatsoever. That was almost I felt like that was a direct answer to Charles Barkley's street clothes Davis comment. He just wanted to suit up and make his appearance. And we knew what we were getting when the trade happened. It's not like Anthony Davis was Iron Man when he was, in New Orleans. You know what I mean? Like the guy has you can't be that big and that athletic and not have foot, knee, leg problems. It's just an inevitability, back, etc. So, I saw a lot of people clamoring oh, we should have kept Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard isn't changing that series, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not kid ourselves here. So, and again,
I ate all those guys up. Even when
truly
AD was healthy, Ayton was kicking their ass.
If that's a healthy AD and that's a somewhat healthy LeBron, that's a 5-game 4-1 win for the Lakers. I know the Suns are a young up and coming team. Devin Booker's awesome, but Devin Booker could just as easily be Dame Lillard over the next 8 years, and just be carrying his team, putting up 50-point games, and nobody's helping him. But kudos to Ayton, and you got a floor general on the team like Chris Paul. I mean, that's all it takes. For God's sakes, bring Chris Paul to the Lakers. Let Chris Paul run this offense. It's just, it's frustrating.
Breaking news: the no-hitter is over. Also, Baron, how dare you even say that? It's the 5th inning.
Yeah, 5th inning is not a no-hitter alert, and also Snell cannot pitch out of the 6th inning. Come on.
No, I only jinx no-hitters post 6th inning. Post 6th inning. You can't do it
because you have class. The Baron obviously does not understand the rules here with this zipper emoji.
Yeah, so I know I said I'd be brief and I ran on forever, but to summarize, AD had no business being out there, dude. None whatsoever.
I thought even totally unrelated to Charles Barkley's comments, which hard pressed not to agree with because the history is there. It's all out there, but I thought he was going to play. We saw him before Game 5, trying to stretch out, and you could see he could barely move sideways, and he was But I knew he was going to try to play, and he probably wasn't going to be. I don't know if they shot him up with something or whatever, but 5 minutes, when I saw that, I was like, it's over, dude. It's done.
Yeah, look, I give him all the respect in the world for trying to play. I mean, it's
you have to. I mean, you're facing elimination.
But
Yeah, right.
also,
That fool
side note
came
about
out. Sorry,
go
I was
ahead,
just
Dustin.
gonna say Crowder buried 3 threes, and that fool said, "My dick hurts. I'm out of here."
Nah, bro. Dang.
But
Guys play too much.
also, like Charles Barkley, like I love Chuck, but like, how are you like one day gonna call bag on him for calling him street clothes, and then the next game be like, oh, he should have been out there playing? Like, come on, Charles, man, pick a lane and stay in it.
Well, like I said, I mean, it's kind of like the magic hour thing. Like, I mean, to a lesser extent, a different extent. You're retired. You were a great player. Now you have that freedom to say what you want. So I respect your opinion as someone that was very good at this game. But it's not, he just wasn't healthy. I mean, it was plainly obvious. Like, game 5, like, he probably would have tried to play 5 minutes in that game if he could. Couldn't go. And then now it comes down to, like, the brass tacks. Like, all right, well, we might get knocked out. I'm going to suit up, even if I'm a decoy. He couldn't go. He played 5 minutes. I mean,
Rajon Hondo, I didn't know he was from Brazil. That's crazy. Old Rajon Hondo.
Rajon Hondo. On that note, let's briefly take a look at the fight night card here. Let's check it with the fight doctor before we get out of here, and you guys get on to enjoying the rest of your weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. The heavyweight champion of the world. It's time!
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we do have a fight night. I know I mentioned it kind of at the top of the program. Not the greatest card, not the most exciting card on paper. This is just kind of, again, the build up to the storm that is the pay-per-view next week, where they're going to have 2 title fights plus the Leon Edwards Nate Diaz fight, which that can only be good. but no, I mean, look, this one's going to be cool. Headlined by a couple heavyweights. There's definitely some potential for some big knockouts in the main event, the co-main event here. Headline, of course, we got Jairzinho Rozenstruik taking on Augusto Sakai. Rozenstruik's a guy that just knocks people out. I mean, he was 10-0. Then he ran into Francis Ngannou. He got knocked out. Guess what? That's going to happen.
As so many have done.
Yes. But he bounced right back and got a TKO over Junior Dos Santos. Then, of course, his last fight, he just got absolutely worked over for 5 rounds by Cyril Gane. So he's going to look to get back on the winning track. This is a guy that going into that Ngannou fight was kind of like, okay, like he could maybe be the next guy. And then, again, got knocked out in 20 seconds, but there's no shame in that. Augusto Sakai, also a guy that's got a lot of, I think he's got like 10 or 12 knockouts on his record. He was undefeated for a while. Then I know he lost a fight to Chet Congo in Bellator. Had a nice run when he came over to the UFC. Then he got knocked out by Overeem in his last fight. So another guy that's looking to get back on the winning track. So, this I think is one of those fights that it's either going to be like an exciting, brutal knockout in the first round, or 3 rounds of guys circling each other, not letting throw up.
Just kind of hugging it out. Yeah.
Hoping for the former. I think I like Rozenstruik in this one. I think he's going to get back in that winning track. Maybe try to let's get a top 5 fight after this. Then the co-main event, another heavyweight fight between Walt Harris and Marcin Tybura. Walt Harris is a guy that only knows how to win by knockout. He's got 13 wins, all by knockout.
His name is Walt Harris. I mean, come on. Like, just look at the name. He's most of his fights.
Yeah, exactly. Most of his fights, win or lose, don't get out of the first round. So that just kind of tells you he's a guy that will lay it on the line. It's hard not to root for the guy. I know a couple of years ago he had the case where his daughter got her life taken from her, unfortunately, pretty brutal fashion. So it's hard to not back this guy up, especially because I know he's coming off a 2-fight losing streak. It's kind of been like the story of his career is win a couple, lose a couple. That's just kind of the streakiness, but I don't think he can afford a 3rd loss, so he's definitely going to come out swinging this one. Tybura, guy that's a little bit more well-rounded. I think he's gotten about as many submissions as he does knockouts in his career. He's got a 4-fight winning streak, most recently getting a TKO win over America's sweetheart, Greg Hardy. So I do thank you for your service in that case, but it's hard for me to root against Walt Harris. Again, seems like a good guy. Again, had the terrible tragedy with his daughter. So I'm going to go with my heart in this one and take Walt Harris first round knockout.
I'm just inclined to agree. Like I said, I mean, it's kind of a heartstring, sympathetic pick for Walt Harris. But again, the name is Walt Harris. Look at this guy. I mean,
you hear that name and you know what he's there to do.
He is a company man. He is there to just like show up and blow up. Whatever happens.
He doesn't get paid by the hour either.
No, he does not. Like, I don't got time for this. Either I'm knocking you out or I'm getting knocked out. That's it.
So, yeah, I think that one's got definitely more of a potential to probably end an exciting fashion again, just because Walt Harris he's not a guy that worries about who he's facing. He just knows one style, and that's come at you, break the fight. The main event, again, I think could end in a pretty quick knockout, or it could be 3 rounds of dudes walking around doing nothing. So I'm more inclined to like the co-main event in this fight.
Is this
Go ahead. Sorry, Justin.
I was just gonna say, is this fight card setting the record for most syllables among fighter names?
Yeah, there's quite a few of them on there, no doubt.
Just a tad. I'll be brief. I agree on Rosenstrike. My heart says Walt Harris. My brain says Tybura, so I'm gonna go with Tybura.
Yeah. I think we're all on board with that.
I could see that.
Yeah, and then I actually think that the third fight on the list there, that could be an interesting fight. It's crazy because I know a lot of these cards aren't flashy name wise, but we've had some really good cards top to bottom in terms of like fight excitement. So I feel like we're kind of spoiled and we're due for a letdown, but I'm hoping we get some exciting fights. I guess I'll lean the Argentinian.
Argentinian rules.
Yeah, it's
they answer to no one. It's mountain law.
That one should be exciting though. I'm excited for that fight. I like watching middleweights, so.
I think just kind of like to your point, some of these like in between fight nights have been some of the better like cards. Like they end up being just like wildly entertaining. Just like, oh man, like we have maybe like a knockout of the year or submission of the year kind of candidate right now. Like things you weren't expecting on these fight nights. So, shout out to UFC for putting these on. I know it's kind of just like keep the line moving, until they get to their next pay-per-view. But they've actually kind of rounded out into being like entertaining fight nights.
Yeah, no, definitely, because especially it's because they are running so many, they're running a fight night pretty much every week, once a week. So at some point in time, they're like, look, we just got to rely on these, young kids, give them that shot where they're going to be on TV. Like, all right, like prove yourself. And more times than not, they do. They show up, even if they don't win, they put up an exciting fight. Dan is like, all right, like I got your number now. I'm going to call you again if I need you. So yeah, it's been a real blessing with having fights pretty much every week with UFC.
I think, yeah, I mean, that's probably the best thing you could say about their, except for the streaming platform, which at times has been ruined, even though they going to ESPN in general, though, kind of leveraging that to, we're going to have something on either your stream or, a free fight night or whatever. It's more of a big deal. Like even, when it was on Fox, it was kind of like, all right, it's cool. Like we get a little free UFC, whatever. But I think it's a bigger deal for contender guys or, guys or girls that are trying to like get themselves in that conversation of like, I want to be in that, like mix, just like maybe getting a pay-per-view or co-main or whatever.
Actually, that also did remind me, and I haven't watched it yet this week. I just haven't had the time, but they did start the new season of Ultimate Fighter this week as well. So that's another exciting venture for young names to kind of build their brand, make their name known. So definitely check that out if you get a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I can't look. We all know Dana is unabashedly a huge dickhead, but again,
True.
well, just go to the man himself right
I
now.
just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Okay.
Thanks, Dean.
So you know where he stands, but I have to say, I mean, UFC has really, especially over the last year and beyond that, going back, really leveraged the ESPN deal very well. Um, just sort of making this like a brand. And then you have, all these highlights, even if it's like a fight night, they end up on SportsCenter now because you're on ESPN. So
Yeah, this weekend it'll be on ESPN Plus, so you do need that subscription. But you just remember,
Hey, me and Dana White want to know who's streaming tonight.
me and Dana want to know. Of course there are ways. Of course there are ways.
Always ways.
I feel like Derek Lewis is a big Walt Harris guy.
Oh, I can totally see that.
Derek Lewis is like the most successful version of Walt Harris. Like, that's our guy. That's the guy you got to root for. Please let him get a title shot. Like, if he gets knocked out, all right, it is what it is. But how can you not love this guy? Please.
Who's streaming tonight?
Who's
Oh
streaming
my
tonight?
Oh, that was horrifying.
Well, shout out to Justin for turning his camera back on just for that
Yes.
bit. But I do appreciate that. It was excellent timing.
We just do what we can, you know.
That's all we can do. It takes a village. But yes, Derek Lewis, please. Again, I cannot stress that enough. If Jones is going to be a dickhead, and this whole
Which he is wont to do.
he's guaranteed.
Let's
I
not
mean, he
say
already is.
if Jones is gonna be. Let's
If he-
not pretend like he hasn't already surpassed major douchebaggery status.
It's how big of one will he be?
There we go.
A
It knows
lot
no
of
bounds.
a lot of Lewis's he didn't even fight, but it was in Houston, so he was there for the event, and he laid it out. He was like, "I set my price. Like, I'm down to fight. I'll fight anyone for I believe it was 8 or 9 million, whatever it was." But Jones out here like reaching for the 30. Like, okay, dude. Like, let our boy bang. Let America's hero fucking bang.
Hey, plus 8 million in a fight with Ngannou and and him. It's not gonna last long. So you're definitely gonna get a nice by the hour rate there.
I think he said in that actual interview, he was like, "Oh, for 10, I'll fight right now." Like, on the podium, he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it. I'm not in shape. 10 million? Yeah, I'll fight right now." What is not to love? What is not to love?
Gotta love it.
But I think that about wraps it up. I don't have anything else. I do want to give a shout out to Team USA.
There we
Going
go.
through to the finals.
Oh, they beat Ray John Hondo.
Oh,
They did. They did beat Hondo.
So brace for impact. And by impact, I mean likely disappointment on Sunday, as Mexico probably beats them. But it is at Mile High, so on U.S. soil. We will see what happens.
Yeah, but Mile High Stadium isn't even as high as freaking Stadio Azteca. So, I mean, is that really that much of an advantage?
A lot less smog. A lot less smog. So there is that. We got that going, which is nice. But, I think this whole tune-up has been nice to see all. These are the guys that are going to be, whether they qualify or not, like either the guys you're rooting for in the 22 World Cup or the guys you're blaming for not qualifying. Like, these are our best guys. We got everyone out there right now, so love to see them rip that. But I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was glad they were able to pull out the win yesterday. It was USA didn't look great. Honduras didn't make it easy. It was a lot of just one thing you'll see with these CONCACAF games is if it's not USA or Mexico, it's a lot of shithousery, a lot of faking injuries, a lot of just like let's buy time so we can get into a shootout and then maybe we can get the lucky win there. That's pretty much what Honduras did. USA again still able to get the 89th minute header for the goal. Mexico didn't, I caught bits and pieces of their game. I didn't think they looked great. They were able to get the win in the shootout. Memo Ochoa, the old man, coming up with a big save in that last shot by Costa Rica. So neither team looked. I mean, I guess that's what I'm saying is neither team looked great. So who even knows what's going to happen in the final?
I saw before actually, and I don't know. Shout out to myself. I guess I don't know.
I want to thank myself.
I want to thank myself. I want to take this opportunity to apologize to absolutely nobody. But before I left to go to the Padres game, which was great, my first pro sports outing since actually being at the Padres game in spring training, that was right before that scumbag Rudy Gobert shut down all of sports and got me fired. I blame him.
Shut down the world.
Single-handedly.
Shut down the world.
I blame him. But before that happened last night, I thought USA played well. They just maybe didn't have quite the cutting edge. And like you said, Honduras was kind of, if you're the team that's obviously overpowered, you're going to have to be a little cagey and kind of like, let's get to a more favorable situation for us. So, yes, it's annoying, but I don't blame them in that regard. As Jaime points out, seems to believe that Costa Rica is going to boat race them.
I would agree with that.
Well, I think that's going to be wide open also. So you're not really like trying to survive for anything except for the bronze medal there in whatever this CONCACAF tournament is. But
the Nations Cup.
Yeah, when you have a chance to get to the final and you're the underdog, I get it. You're going to kind of, slow the game down, take the air out of the ball, fall on it. Like, oh, man, this guy just killed me. Like, he didn't even touch you. But whatever. Like, all right. It's
You're not even in the game. You're on the sideline. What are you doing?
Oh, he goes down. Oh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. But looking forward to Sunday evening. Definitely want to watch that game just because, like I said, we do have – these are the guys. I mean, we're talking about Reyna. We're talking about Pulisic, McKennie. These are the future studs going forward. So, if they come up short, which they very well – like it's quite possible that would happen. But I still want to see them out there all together playing in a game that counts for, a trophy of some kind.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, look, U.S.-Mexico games are usually pretty fun. It doesn't usually end up well for the U.S., but I think it'll be a good game. And like you said, these are the guys that are going to be Team
for
USA
better or worse.
For the next 8 years. For the next 8 years, these are going to be the guys. These are going to be the names you see. So get used to it and see what they can pull off. I mean, plus, look, it's even though it's completely unrelated to the competition, it gives us a nice little lead-in for the Euros, which start next week. So that's always nice.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's going to be easy for Costa Rica to murder Honduras when half their team's laying on the field getting carted off anyways.
Exactly.
That's when you strike. If they don't blow the whistle, just go for goal. Screw it. No stoppage. We keep playing. Play through the whistle. Play to the whistle. And I look, Jaime, I love your optimism. I'm just, I don't know. I mean, as Tyler pointed out, the history there between look, it's always a exciting game because there's plenty of fans from both sides, Mexico and USA, even if they play on U.S. soil. Even in a obviously made up trophy, like the this CONCACAF thing. But just show out. Just somebody show out. Like, please give me some hope, glimmer of optimism. I'm not going to die if you guys don't win this game, but just show me something. Just give me something.
Oh, so you're less invested in this than you are with your loyal. This isn't going to be you if the U.S. loses.
No, I spent money on the loyal. That's why they hospitalized me.
He's an owner.
That's true. That's true.
Essentially, yes.
He's on the board. Yes, he's
you
on the
see
board.
what it did to me? You see what it did to me? Landon, I still need to have words in person. We have to talk this out.
Actually, aren't your loyal back on the road this weekend? I think they have a road game with what?
They're back on the road this weekend. They return to San Diego on the 12th, which I may or may not be in attendance with CEO Nick. We will see. Also, partial owner Nick.
Hey, America's gonna be good when all the little Zlatans are born in like another
Can't
4
wait.
months or whatever it is.
Can't wait.
And then we gotta wait like 15, 16 years.
I mean, but only 15, 16 years. You can be good at soccer at 16. You can be world class.
We can only hope that Zlatan spread his seed during his stay with
Zlatan hitting hellacious seeds all over North American turf.
Bombs right. And hellacious seeds. He came to give us that gift of his seed. So I can only hope that bears out because Lord knows we need like 5 Zlatans, maybe just to make us semi-relevant in the world.
I mean, you really only need one Zlatan, man.
I mean, we only need one real Zlatan, but if it's Zlatan Jr., we might need like 3 of those fools.
Could a team handle multiple Zlatans? I don't even know the function. I don't know how that could function at all.
Could a major city's women handle multiple Zlatans?
That's a big
also,
question.
If you're the coach of the team with multiple Zlatans, also you cannot handle that.
Let's just put it this way:
there's one Zlatan. There's only room for one Zlatan.
If Zlatan's on your team, your club's in danger of being renamed Stade Brestois 30. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I can only hope that there are some, future Zlatans out here that have the magic, the genes, by the grace of Lausanne, like just blessed with the talent, that maybe have their American passport and will help us out someday, somehow, some way. But we will have to wait and see. So Sunday, we just take what we can get. Come on, just beat Mexico, please, please. That would be satisfying, even in a meaningless trophy game. Please, just give me that, please, God.
All right, I don't have anything else, Ronnie. I don't know if you have anything, Justin. You got anything you want to bring up before we get out of here?
Hey, yo, wrap it up, B.
Wrap it up. All right. Well, we are getting out of here. You guys enjoy the weekend. We won't even talk on it, but check out more road racing in NASCAR. Dude, Chase Elliott. In NASCAR, he's plus 130. Like,
that's crazy.
I can't even say bet on that. Like, even the favorite usually is like plus 300 something. But he is running through these road tracks. So,
Alex Bowman. Give me Alex Bowman.
Bet at your own discretion. Entertainment purposes only. Give me Harvick.
Please believe
Give me
that.
Harvick. He qualified 8th. Come on. That's our guy.
Harvick's got to get his first win of the year. He's got to get that first win. Come on.
On the road track, I don't know.
Probably not. No, probably not on the road track. If he didn't do it at Phoenix, he actually just may not win it all this year, I think.
No, don't say that. Don't you ever say that. You must. You must.
Cherish it.
You must. But thank you guys for joining us. You guys have a great weekend. Thank you for calling, commenting in. Thank you, Justin, for helping us out here. Thank you, Tyler, as well. We will get back with you guys on Monday. There is no holiday weekend. So we will be right back in there on Monday.
Yes, we will be back here this Monday. Thank you all so much. All the comments, all the questions. Thank you, Justin, for jumping on. Always a pleasure. Hope you guys have a fun weekend. You know the drill. Keep the fire.
Keep the MF fire. Please, please believe that.
At the buzzer.